I think this is the smallest group which I ever had in Ramakrishna. Okay, so but we will make it better by more interactions. You can ask me a lot of questions so that I can answer it better. The course is on power of positive thinking. And it's the first class. Good. It's very difficult topic. Power of positive thinking. Very easy to tell, but very difficult to practice. Very easy to say this is positive, this is negative, but very difficult to distinguish what is positive and what is negative. I generally believe it's not enough to have positive thinking. More than positive thinking, positive action is necessary. Many people are good at positive thinking, but most of the people don't do any activity positively. Everybody has positive thinking. Actually, you don't require a course, but positive actions will not come. Every thinking process is good only when it gets into action. If it is only thinking process, it's useless. What is that you are looking, or what made you to attend such a course? What is that you have in your mind when you attend a positive thinking? The course is on power of positive thinking. What were in your mind when you came for such a course? What is that you had in mind? After 6 days of course, what is that you will get? I want your answers. It should be interactive, more interactions. What is that you expect? How many of you attended my earlier classes? Only one? You only? Yeah, you also. Okay.
My problem is making thoughts.
Pardon?
My problem is making thoughts. Whenever I sit alone, I meditate all making thoughts. So I thought that.
What is negative thought as far as you are concerned?
Just like yesterday incident.
Okay, you dream about.
No. It happens sometimes. Sometimes it happens like this. And also it happens.
No, yesterday's bomb blast you. Yeah?
Like that I get thoughts. If at all it happens like this. That's my imagination.
Where you are involved, what will happen to you? That's your worry?
That will happen. And whenever I feel alone, I'll be sitting alone in my house or doing something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Whenever I feel a situation like I'm feeling.
Okay. So you will think about that and then you will spend time. Enjoy it.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. You want to get rid of such worrying thought process which you have in your mind. Okay. What else?
So whatever activity we do, first we think in a negative way, then we think in a positive.
Give me one example.
I have applied for a loan.
Okay.
Where initially I thought that it might have got rejected.
Okay.
Finally it got rejected.
So what do you think is whatever you approach, the first response is negative. That's what you are thinking, and you get worried on that until it happens. Okay. Okay, you wanted to have a positive thinking so that your expectation is it will happen. When you apply loan, do you think that you don't get it? Then why do you apply?
Should make it right.
Why do you think it does not happen?
Because few of this, where I know my status there cannot be, because
Okay, I know the answer for that. Tell me something more, somebody else.
So I want to stand on my own feet after 14 years of marriage.
14 years of?
I got married 14 years back, but at present I want to stand on my own feet.
Okay.
So I have a negative thought. After 14 years I won't be able to do it.
Okay.
So that's why I have to join this class.
So 14 years you were dependent on somebody else.
I was depending on the hubby.
Okay.
So now I am told that I have been separated.
Okay.
So I want to stand on my own feet. I have a child of 12 years old. I want to get myself back from my family.
Okay.
So first I want to stand on my own feet.
But my negative thing is that after 14 years I won't be able to start.
Okay. So it's more of a survival problem.
Yeah.
Okay. More of a survival problem.
Depends on our experience in the past life.
That's what I wanted to tell you as an experience. That's why I said, no, what do you know? What's your problem? That's why I stopped it. Okay. Tell me something more.
We live from different uses and concentration on the
Okay, most of the time your thought process is on which is unnecessary. You are not able to concentrate on what you really want. Or you spend the whole day and you think that why did you waste this time thinking on something? That's what happens.
Not useless to my
Yeah.
concentrate on one thing.
You want to concentrate on one thing only. If that one
You have different uses.
okay, you want to control your mind and get concentrated on one subject.
And we have different uses.
But how do you know that subject is going to be positive? You know, when you have a problem, you will think about only that, nothing else in life. Day and night you will be thinking on that. The best concentration is on your problems. If you have examination, you will think only on examination. If tomorrow you have to write an examination, you will think only on that. Tomorrow you have a big major program to be managed. Some VVIP is coming to your office and the whole responsibility is on you. You will think only that, nothing else. Tomorrow you assume that there is a very verdict happening in the court where you have to attend the court. Not tomorrow, at least 1 week early itself you will be only thinking on that, nothing else will happen. Is it not? Assume that somebody expires at home. Somebody die at home. You have an accident. You will think about only that, nothing else in a few days. Automatically it happens. Why you are not able to concentrate on one issue? Because it's not that important to you. Our mind is very good. If something is important, automatically the concentration will go. Whether that is good or bad, nobody can predict. I think that is not positive thinking and negative thinking. You understood? My mother is ill. All the time I will think about the mother. What is the use? Thinking about the mother, does it make any sense? I have already admitted her in a hospital. She is in ICU. Doctors will take care. Can we do that? The whole thinking process is useless, non-productive. Nothing will happen if I think. If I don't think also, things will happen. No? My job I have done. But you cannot call it as negative thinking. And I will be worried. As you say, I will be worried. My mother is going to die. Almost at deathbed. I will get scared. I will start worrying. What will happen if she dies? All the time we will wait for that news to come. Actually, we are waiting for the news to come. We know that's the news going to come. Whenever a telephone rings, we know that this is the news which I am getting. And we get tensed all the time. And we will wait for that ring to cry out. That's what happens, right? No? It's common, natural to anybody. Can we say that thought process is bad? It's natural. We have no control on that. That's why I said very easy to say what is positive and what is negative. You can tell why you are wasting your time. Assume that the husband's mother dies. The wife will tell you why you are crying. But if the wife's mother is dying, the husband will tell the same thing, why you are crying, because the relations are very bad. You understood? It's very easy to say when your neighbor fails in exam, you say, why do you worry? Don't worry. But if you fail, you will also do the same thing. What is negative, what is positive? So getting worried, concentrating on something, not concentrating on something, thinking that it is productive or not, you cannot count it as positive and negative. Most of the time, most of our activities are not productive. We think about our mother because mother thought about us for a long time. Is it not? How many days she must have spent time taking care of you, feeding you, worrying about you. Every moment when you are walking, she will think, you are going to fall, and she got upset. And naturally, you will also think about her. Nothing wrong. That cannot be positive and that cannot be considered as negative. Do you think that is going to be the negative and positive aspect or of positive thinking? These are all feelings, and people should have feeling. If you don't have feeling, you are not a human being. These situations comes because you have feeling. Because your heart is good, you are feeling. If your heart is not good, you don't care anything. You understood? If you don't have sympathy with your mother, if you don't have love with your mother, you don't feel about that. So nothing wrong. You fall in love with somebody because you wanted her. Nothing wrong in thinking about her. Can you say that that thought process is waste? It's not waste. If you don't have the tender mind of loving somebody, you don't think about somebody in your life, the whole life is waste. Otherwise you become only mechanical. No? That's what happened in Japan and all that. Everybody is mechanical. Now today the classes in Japan are how to love people. They want to get trained how to write love letters. There has to be lectures on how to write love letters. Courses are being given because they don't. Become so selfish, self-centered. You don't even share. You cannot love somebody without giving ice creams. You have to offer ice cream, take them to hotel. All that is necessary. How do you know that she is going to love you back when you do that? How do you know that he is going to love you back? But you offer. In Japan and all, they will just take a guarantee. You are going to give, otherwise you will repay this. Become so selfish. In life, sacrifice is essential to achieve something. The time which you spend matters. That's not a bad thing. And only one concentration, only when you have the severe problem. Otherwise, every mind keeps on going to different places. That's not a big issue in life. Add some more points. Add some more points.
Sir, what's that part which makes us think positive and negative?
Before that, we should know what is positive and what is negative. That's what I am trying to categorize. Your concept of negative, positive have to be changed. Thinking about somebody is not negative. Spending time with somebody else which does not result in anything is not. We cannot say that it is negative. I have wasted my time.
Whatever we like, that happens, we think that is positive. And whatever that happens, don't like that.
Whatever you like, then that is positive. Whatever you don't like is negative for you. But for somebody else, you understood? You want things to happen in your style and you call it as positive. That's what I want. That definition I wanted from you. That's not true. Dharmam for individual is different. Dharmam for family is different. Dharmam for the society is different. Dharmam for the state is different. Dharmam for the country is different. The positive is what is dharmic. Positive is what is dharmic. Everybody have problem. You think either negative or positive just because you have desire. If you don't have desire, you have no problem. Why do you worry about bomb? Because if bomb blast is there, something is lost. Let it go now. What is the problem? You are not able to think like that because lose property, lose somebody's life. You are worried about that. You think your time is wasted because what is that you want? With the time you wanted to do something. You have desire to do something and that's not happened. That's called kamam. Desire is called kamam. Kamam is not sex, okay? Desire is what is called kamam. Everybody live in this world with the desires. Oh, this should happen, this should not happen. And whatever you think should happen, does not happen, you say it's negative. Whatever you think should happen, that's called a positive. So you have a desire, you have a hope, and if that happens, you say it is a positive action. If that does not happen, you say it's a negative action. You applied for a job. Is it not? And then the interview board is sitting there. They have asked you a few questions. You answered everything perfectly. Who feels? You feel that you have answered everything perfectly. A Every candidate will feel that they have answered everything perfect. Only 10%, that everybody will not know 100%, 10%. There is only one chair of the manager post, and you have applied for manager post. There are 40 candidates. Can they put 40 chair and make all the 40 people managers? They can only appoint one person, right? No? That is the job given to this committee. They are also doing some job. That's their job. So what is to be done? You have to pick up one buffalo there, and then make him to sit. Only one chair is given. No, many chairs are not there. Only one chair. What happens? They select somebody and he gets the chair. And what do you say if you don't get it? You will say the committee is bad, they don't know how to do it. You will start finding fault. What question they have asked? You will start finding fault with them. And you say the committee is bad. Now you assume you got the seat. Will you say the same thing? You say the committee is wonderful and I am very good. When you get a job, it doesn't mean you are good. If you don't get a job, it doesn't mean you are not good. It only means, according to them, you don't suit for the chair. You are much fatter or thin. They want exactly a person who will fit in the chair. That's only it matters, right? No? It only says you don't get suited to this chair according to, you may be the right person, but there is some 3 people who are assigned to select. And according to them, you are not the suitable person. So do you think that you are bad? Committee is bad? No, their assessment is bad. And for that situation, you could not perform well. And therefore, you could not select it. So activities, positive and negative, does not depend on your thinking, your activity. It depends on many people. The selection board also should think accordingly, as you are thinking. As you have a hope, it should happen. Your hope is to get that. If it does not come, you think it is negative. But only your thinking process will not give you the chair. The other people also should think according to you. But you have no control on somebody's thinking process. Is it not? So you have no control on situations. The positive and negative does not depend on your activity. It depends on the society, circumstances, where you are. Some activity which you are doing is appreciated well at some places, but somewhere else it will not be appreciated well. Some places you have to do this, some places you are not supposed to do this. Depends on situations to situations. You are listening to a wonderful music in North India. If you sit dumb like this, the musician will stop singing. In between you have to say wah wah, right? No? Is it not? Have you not seen? They will react. But assume that in South India, in Kerala, when somebody is singing, you do, then they will vacate. Because the audience is supposed to be still. They should not react. Situations are different. So a positive activity in some place will become negative activity in some other place. A positive thought process is the result of the culture which they are in. That's what I said, your experience. What you say is your experience. Is it not? So thought process is not a problem. You can have any thought process, but don't act. Thought process can be very bad. Every human being will have 100 thought processes. It may be good, may not be good. Doesn't matter. How the activity comes is more important. In US, when you have friendship with somebody, you can hug and kiss. Nothing wrong. But can you do that in India? Does it mean in Indian people have no such thought process? But they don't do, because the culture says you are not supposed to do that. Once you do in some place it is positive, some place it is negative. Here if somebody does, the activity is seen as a negative activity. Whereas in some other place it is seen as a positive activity. So situations, culture, the custom which you have, the society what it says, stops or supports your desire. Having desire, having thought process is not at all bad. You can have desire, you can have thought process, you can always calm is possible. You can think about what is to be done, what is not to be done. Nothing wrong about it. That's called desire or kama. Any kamam to satisfy, you need artham. I have a desire to have a wonderful chair. The desire is kamam. I have wonderful chair. I require a good chair. Nothing wrong in having that desire. But how do I get a chair? I have to pay money, or somebody has to gift me. Is it not? Somebody's good wishes can give me a good chair. Otherwise I have to pay money. Now the question, which is required for getting the material or thought process or the circumstances, creating the situation which satisfy my desire is called artham. You understood? The artham doesn't mean money alone. It can be an influence by somebody. Somebody do not pay also. For politicians, they will get something. Do you think they pay money? They will just telephone and say, I need this. So the things will come there. They don't pay at all. So the influence, your power can be artham. You are a good, knowledgeable person. And you have got lot of disciples. Automatically when you say, I require a chair, many chairs will come. Because everybody starts giving you. That's a donation which you get because of your knowledge. So artham can be knowledge, artham can be power, artham can be direct money also. You can buy. So whatever desire you have to satisfy, you require artham. Artham doesn't mean money alone. It can be influence, it can be power, it can be knowledge, it can be anything. Any mode which I will see that I will get this chair. Now assume I don't have power, I don't have money, I don't have influence. Nothing is there. I have no knowledge also. Where I can influence somebody to get me something. Now what do I do? My desire is there. What is that I will do? I will steal money. I have a desire which I cannot stop. Therefore I will steal money from someone. So artham can be obtained in two ways. With merit I can get, without merit also I can get. With merit when I get, it is called dharmic. Without merit it is called adharmic. I can get whatever I want. I need to get the job. I can attend the interview and get the job. That's dharmic. I can pay some money to some politician, then get some influence and then get through that. That's adharmic. When you sit in the chair, will you be so comfortable? Will you be happy? Depends on which path you have taken and what is your earlier experience. A person who is practiced stealing money will have no problem again stealing money and buying a chair. If I have no practice of doing it, when I sit in a chair after stealing money, I will not become comfortable. The satisfaction which I get after getting whatever I want, first you require a desire. The desire is to get something, and if I get that, I will become happy. That happiness is called the moksha. Okay, now you have got kamam, desire, artham, the means of getting it, dharmam, which way you will get it, and moksham is happiness. This is called the purusharthas. Okay, in this dharmam, you say whatever I want, if I want to get it through the dharmic style, I define it like dharmic style. The dharmic style defines whether your activity is positive or negative. If you do dharmic, it is called a positive. If you do adharmic, it is called a negative. There are two characters in Mahabharata, one Dharmaputra and Duryodhana. Who is negative, who is positive? Dharmaputra is positive and Duryodhana is negative. Why do you say? Duryodhana was very happy. Who was unhappy? You were unhappy. Did he do anything wrong with you? Did Duryodhana did anything wrong to you? No. But why we feel that he is negative? Why? Behavior? Because of his behavior? with somebody else who is lived in that society and you feel he is negative. Dharmaputra did much more crime than Duryodhana have done. He has killed most of his gurus, most of the relatives, and he was responsible. How do you justify Krishna who killed his own uncle? Did Duryodhana kill his uncle? Any relatives? How do you say he is negative and you say the other person is positive? Lord Krishna is positive as far as we are concerned. Dharmaputra is very good. Lord Krishna had many wives. But Duryodhana had only one wife. How do you say that Duryodhana is bad and this man is good? Why? That is the answer for that. Whole world. You understood? For me, I am doing. And for me, it is dharmic. I am correct. But Duryodhana doing things only for his purposes. Whereas Dharmaputra did it for the people around. He has not done for himself. Lord Krishna killed uncle not because uncle disturbed him, because he was a bad king and the whole society was suffering. So for whom you are doing, that matters. If you are doing for your purpose, that is not dharmic. You know, it's very difficult to distinguish this positive and negative. You should know situations to situations. So only with examples it can be said. So you understand Duryodhana and Dharmaputra? Why do you call Duryodhana is bad? Because his activity is for his purposes. Whereas Dharmaputra's activity is for many people around. It may be wrong that point of time. That point of time for that people, for the purpose it is wrong, but doesn't matter. For a longer time, for a larger purpose you are doing it. There is a soldier who is fighting with Pakistan soldiers at the border. Indian soldier is fighting with the Pakistan soldiers from a small village from Andhra Pradesh. He is a soldier from a small village from Andhra Pradesh. He has been posted at the border, Jammu Kashmir border, Baramulla. Okay? And there is an opposite to some Pakistan. Is that Pakistan soldiers are bad? Then why do this Indian soldier kill the Pakistan soldier? That is the job given to him. Right, no? Dharma assigned it to him by the country. He has a dharma. What is it? Don't kill innocent people. He suspends his dharma for the purpose of the national dharma. Which is important? The national dharma is important. His job assigns a dharma to him. So that job assigns a dharma to him, so he does it. So his individual dharma surrenders when you are in a job. If you don't fit into the job, quit. Once you are inside the job, you are supposed to surrender to that job. Whatever dharma the job assigns to you, you are supposed to do that. Otherwise you are not fit to be in that job. You quit the job. Once you are there, your ego, your self is surrendered and you take the self of the job. And he kills 16 soldiers. He shoot at wonderful soldier. What do you call him? Great soldier. And he comes to Hyderabad. The chief minister will garland him. His picture will come in the Deccan Chronicle front page. Great warrior, good soldier, the prestige of India. So many things. And he will be taken to the village with a lot of procession behind him. Every party will support him. And he was walking like a big man in the village. Okay, opposite to him, a drunkard. Fully drunkard. Then he said, what are you, who are you? He started scolding. And the village people say, he has been suffering with this drunkard. All the day he is making disturbance. To his family, the drunkard is a bad fellow. To the neighbors, always he is a bad fellow. Oh, this is a bad fellow. He takes his knife and kills it. What will happen? What will happen? The police will come, arrest him and put him in jail. There is a fellow who is a useless fellow, disturbing fellow. He killed him, but he gets imprisoned. Whereas he has killed innocent 16 fellows, he got award. Which is negative, which is positive? Your job is not to kill somebody in your village. If somebody is disturbing, you are supposed to report. And the police is supposed to take care. Your job is not that. For as far as the dharma is concerned, you are doing a dharmic job. Because you are saving your disturbance from that place, and you are saving your family, you are saving his family, because every day the wife is praying that let this man die. Okay, you have saved his wife. But is it a good action? It's not a good action. So your activity, whether dharmic or adharmic, is not defined by what you do, it is defined by the society, the rules. I am an advocate. I have passed LLB from Usman University. I am not an advocate. My profession is not that. But assume a person comes and tells me, I have killed so and so, you please save me. He is coming to the advocate and then telling. Do I say, no, I will not save you, go and get arrested? Then what is the job of an advocate? You understood? The job of an advocate is, even if a thief comes to you, even if a murderer comes to you, you should argue he is not. That's your job. You have learned chartered accountancy, CA, passed CA. And you joined in a company. Can you say, I will not manipulate the account? The job of a chartered accountant is to manipulate the account so that they will pay less tax to the government. What is your dharma then? If you have to only write credit and debit and then put a balance sheet, any 10th class fellow can do that. You learned chartered accountant means you know how to cheat government. You have passed the surgery. You know how to cut the human body. He says, no, cutting human body is not correct. The God wishes to take your prana, let him know. The illness is his last janma's papam. Let him suffer and die. Then you are not fit to become a surgeon. Whatever you can, you are supposed to do it. You have been assigned a job, you are supposed to do it. Don't think of your negative and positive there. So negative and positive to you is different, to your family is different, to the society is different, for each individual it is different. Very difficult to define what is good, what is bad. Very, very difficult. Each situation will tell you this is to be done, this is not to be done. Accordingly we should move. A good person is a person who understands his responsibility and acts, for which you should have thinking process. Why negative thinking comes? Because you have too much of desires in life. You have nothing else to think. Do you think a marriage happens in your house? And do you think if a blast comes, you will think about the blast? And sit and cry? You don't. You have something else to do. If your activity, that's what I said, if you have a serious activity with you, you have no time to think about something else. If you have nothing else to do, you will start thinking about it. So it's more important to have more activity in life. Get concentrated in something. You cannot make your mind calm, clean. That's not possible. Your mind is always like a monkey. It needs some activity. As soon as you wake up, some thought process will come. You can never stop your mind from thinking. If it stops, you are not a human being. If your mind stops thinking, that means you are dead. So don't allow your mind to die. Let it think. But what happens? Most of the time it thinks unnecessary things, as he says, whichever is not required. So what is to be done? If there is a bad stinking smell here, The whole room is stinking very bad. What do you do? What do you do? You will close your doors. You escape from that. What do you do? You will find out the source from where it is coming. The other process is to put some spray. So nice smell will come. But that nice smell will stay for only some time. Is it not? After some time the nice smell will go, because again the bad smell will start. Because the source is here. The nice spray, if you keep it open and then put a fan, then that smell will be continuous until it stops. So what you should do? You should remove that source. Why do you have bad thought process? That has to be analyzed. Your origin of bad thought process have to be analyzed. How do you analyze? How do you analyze your bad thought process? Based on past experiences. You know, you are seeing all the dreams. Your imagination is from your knowledge. Nobody will have a dream of any animal. You will never have a daydream. Your thinking process will never become negative or positive, doesn't matter. You will not think of anything which you have never seen in your life, which you have never read in your life. Either daydream or night dream. You will see an elephant with a giraffe mouth or giraffe's head. Because you know a giraffe, you know a elephant. You understood? Whatever you have not seen in your life, you can never imagine in your life. All the thought process is based on what input you have in your manas, what you have learned, what you have read. Do a small boy will think about a bomb blast if the boy doesn't know what's a bomb? What's a blast? Because you are seeing TV, you are seeing bomb blast, you are seeing problems in the news. What will happen? Your thinking process will go into that. Assume that you are not watching movie where no disaster is happening for many days together. 21 days. You don't require many days. Every individual can practice a good practice or bad practice, change your rules, change your styles, 21 days. That's the statistic says. Every day you keep only Ramayana, Mahabharata, some stories, some spiritual lectures in front of you every day. Just force yourself into that. 3-4 days you will not be. You will still think about something else. So extend 21 plus 4 days. Constantly your thought process is only that. Automatically you will not think about anything else. Very few days only. Have you seen the Swamijis will walk very slowly? Speak very slowly? You know why? Because they are put in a course in which they will see people who are walking slowly. They will speak slowly only. 21 days or 40 days, if you are put in such a in that company, you will also become automatically like this. You cannot get angry. You will not be able to speak louder. Assume that you are in a company of shouting. Automatically, after 1 month when you come out, you will start shouting to people. You stay in Bombay for some time. You know how Bombay people will get into train and come out of train, how do they walk? They will be very fast. They will keep on moving like this. Because you are forced to do that, that becomes your activity. You go to Calcutta and drive, nice good vehicle. Second day the whole side will have scratch. Because they habituated scratching. Your whole new vehicle will become full scratch on. In Hyderabad, can you tolerate it? You will have full tension, but there you have no tension because that is the way of life. So your way of life is defined by the society in which you are moving. For you that becomes so painful in Hyderabad, which is not painful in Calcutta. Your activity will be defined by the way you are reacting and how you are reacting with the people. Shouting is bad. For whom? For you. because you think that this is the way you have to live. How did you know this is the way to be lived? Because people said, you have been trained like this. You have been trained like this. So your training will determine how do you behave. There is nothing wrong if you reverse and change your life. You know, my son, the way he reacts in my house will be entirely different, and with his friends at a different situation, he will be entirely different. As soon as he comes back home, he knows how to behave. As soon as he goes out, he knows how to behave. Which is good, which is bad is not defined. We don't know which is correct. The way we react to our own friends, we have got many people. The way we react to one friend and another friend will be entirely different. Because that is how we started interacting. That is how we know interactions. We cannot say this is bad, this is good. Depends on situations, depends on circumstances. The way we got introduced, the way we have been experiencing, that will be our way of dealing. Nothing wrong in that. As far as Duryodhana is concerned, he was perfect. Because his advisors says that you have been doing wonderful, very good. His father also says you are good. His uncle says you are good. So he was perfect. He never had any other view in him. So he was good. But for the whole society, when you look at it, he is bad. For me, I like to listen to music. It's good for me. But I should not do it at the cost of my family. If my wife says I have severe headache, please stop this music. But I say no, I enjoy music. I start keeping music. Hearing music is not bad, no, it's a positive activity only. But if somebody does not like, you can still listen, but what you should do? Keep an earphone and listen to that. Don't disturb. So every activity, if I do for myself and making happy, we think it is positive. But if for the society it is going to be bad, then that action, that thinking process is bad. Once you practice doing everything for the betterment of the society, automatically you will become a positive person. To practice it, you need only few days of practice. Every activity you can change. Every thinking process you can change. But don't say that I will not think negative. It will never happen. You will start thinking negative one. What you should do? Put lot of positive thinking inside it. Think something good. Read some new good books. Learn. No, we have sufficient time. What is that we watch in the TV? Most of the time firing. No, most of the TV serials you will see. The family problems. The husband and wife is fighting. That's what you will see every day. And you will learn how to fight. So what will happen? When the wife comes first, we will start fighting. Because that is how you will learn. Assume that in a society you will never see such a drama. You will see only people are smiling, laughing. You know what will happen? Automatically your situations in house also will change. Assume you start scolding your kid. What will happen? As your kid grows up, they will wait for their kids to come to scold. Because you trained them how to scold. You know? You start being happy at home, your kids also will become happy. And later their kids also will become happy. If you become gloomy, upset, that is what your kids will see every day. That's what they will learn. So it's essential to have a practice of life, and that will continue your job. So it's not that you cannot avoid negative thinking. Every person who can think will have positive and negative thinking. What is positive and negative depends on situations, depends on where you are doing, whom you are dealing with. All that matters. What is the culture, what is the society demands, all that determines what is negative and positive. There is nothing which is negative, nothing which is positive. For whom you are doing, what is the outcome, that's what matters. And as a social being, whatever we think we should not do. If you are not a social being, for an animal it doesn't matter. Whatever it thinks it can do, but we are not supposed to do it. We are a social being, therefore we are not supposed to practice whatever we think, restrict. That's what makes us a social animal. Therefore try to restrict our activities. Thinking process you cannot. Try to put lot of new thinking, and then you will become like that after some time. A police becomes a policeman because he gets into the group of police. He gets trained for that. So if you have good satsang, good people around you, all the time you think only good and you will do good thing only. Your learning is different. You will have every knowledge. That is why you are able to say this is good, this is bad. That is why you do something and you say that, oh, I should not have done this. After doing something you will say, oh, I should not have done this. It's a mistake which I have done. Why? Because you know what is good, what is bad. This is to be done, this is not to be done. It is good, but you cannot stop doing it. Duryodhana says, Janami dharmam nachame pravritti, janamya dharmam nachame nivritti, kenapi kamena hridistidena yadha niyukto sitata karomi. Mother, I know what is dharmam, but I am not able to stop doing it. I am doing only bad things. I know what is adharmam, I am doing only that. I know what is dharmam, but I am not able to do that. So knowing, thinking is not what matters. What is activity that is matters. If you do good things, that's good. But that activity should come only by practice. You should keep on doing good things. Any process of thinking continuously for some time is bad. I am against your requirement of telling I should have full Shraddha in one. You should keep on changing your Shraddha. One activity, when you think in different directions. Then you will know this is good or bad. If you think only in one direction, you don't understand the consequence of it. So it's essential when you are thinking of something, think if that person, how he gets affected, how this person will get affected. You said when you get a loan, you are happy. If you don't get a loan, it's bad. But if you don't get a loan, somebody else gets it, right? No? If they have a better merit, let them get. That is positive thinking. Who has merit, they should get it. Assume that somebody is influencing and then whatever you are supposed to get, somebody is snatching away.
The situation after sometimes I may think that without getting a loan it might be a problem.
It should have been good. How do you know? You understood. At one situation you think getting loan is wonderful. But sometimes you think not getting loan is good. I did not get a job. At that point of time, you think it is negative. But after some time, you will think, when you get a better job, you will think, oh, I did not get that job. Wonderful. You got married to somebody. You think it's so good. But after some time, you think, I did a big mistake. I should not have married him. It would have been better if I don't marry. I could have married somebody else. For every activity, you can have this thought process. What is good? What is bad? There is a story. In olden days, there was no lottery tickets. So how do somebody say this man is lucky? If the host comes to your house, people say this house is very good. Okay? There is an old man and a host comes to his house. Every village people said he is so lucky, he got a host. Horse. Okay. So a horse comes to his house. Every village people says he is very lucky, he got a horse. But this old man is very difficult. He is preparing his own food and eating. Somehow surviving. Now one more horse came to his house. He has to feed this horse. It's a big trouble as far as he is concerned. For others, it looks like he is a lucky man. For him, it's a big trouble. But still, he is an old man. He has lived in this world. He knows what is wisdom. Highly spiritual man. He says, God has given it. So let me accept it. Because it is, generally it is considered as a luck. So I got a luck. And he started struggling more to feed this horse also. And every villager says, why do you take this pain of feeding this horse? Why don't you sell the horse? You don't require the hose anyway. What you are going to do with this waste? So what do? Sell it. This old man says, just come, let it be here, I am not going to sell. Stupid, foolish fellow. What do you think you yourself as the luckiest fellow? You are actually foolish. Don't do this. And there was a war happening in the next village, in that kingdom which is involved in this village. And the king required a lot of horses. The king sent his soldiers and then caught the horse. But government rate will be paid. So the old man got little bit of money. Then the whole villagers told him, started telling, you could have sold the horse, you could have got more money. Now anyway government has taken it. Now you got less price only. You could have made more money. You are a fool. First what did the villagers say? He's a lucky man. After some days they say he's a fool. Now again they repeatedly the second opportunity they got telling that he is a fool. Government soldiers or the king will pick up lot of horses from different places. There's no account. The horse is his fortune. So what happened? The horse came back again. And every villager says, you see, this is how the luck comes. Even if you don't want, some way it will reach your house back. He's so lucky. If you could have sold to a private fellow, will the horse will come back? It will never. Now what he can do? He can sell it to somebody else again. He's so lucky fellow. Then his grandson came to his house. The grandson, a young fellow. Soon after 10th class exam, holidays, he came to this old man's grandfather's house. He saw nice horse. Automatically he wanted to jump on that and start driving. Learning how to ride. What happened? If you don't know how to ride, jump on a horse, you'll fallen down, leg broken. And then the whole people says, this is how the trouble will come to your house. Even if you throw the trouble out, somehow it will come back. If the horse was not there, this accident would have been not there. You know, if you don't want also, the God will give you accidents. And the old man, again spiritual, good experience, a wise person, he said, let it come, let my son get illness, no problem. Don't worry about these problems at all. Let him suffer. That's the time for him to suffer. Instead of dying, only leg is broken. It's good. You know, the king, when the war comes, not only he require horses, he require young soldiers also. So every gentleman, every young people in the village was snatched away by the king. Only this young boy was survived. And every village people started crying, you are a lucky man, your son has fallen, and therefore he escaped. All our kids are now in the war. We don't know what will be the fate. You know how much time it is required to say, this is good, this is bad, keeps on changing. And you know what happened? The king don't have to fight a big war. Easily he could win. Therefore everybody who participated in the war, they got lot of money. And the whole villager said, this is how trouble will come to your house. If his leg was not broken, he could have also got more money, no? So every activity you think it is negative, that will result in positive for that moment. And after some time that will become negative. You don't know which is good, which is bad, which is negative, which is positive. So think on different life experiences. When you think something happens, you think that it is very bad. Don't think like that. Do your job. That's more important. Do activities. What you can do in one situation, do that. Don't leave your mind free without any thinking process. Start thinking a lot on different activities. Assume that you are busy in serving somebody. Will you have time to think on something else? Assume you are busy in doing a creative work. Will you have time to think something else? You have lot of time, no job. What do? Only thing which we can do without any expense is thinking. and we keep on thinking. What do we do? Non-productive. Okay? And such non-productive, non-creative, without helping somebody else, you start thinking too selfish. That thought process will be generally negative. If you start thinking for others, automatically that will become good thinking process. Don't waste your time. Do some job to somebody else. If you have simple some time, I have got a person in my village. I am from a very small village in Kerala. I still remember him and quote him when I go for the lecture on social service. You know, when he goes for a marriage, he will see some chapels removed in zigzag way and kept. He will keep them in order. We have a nationalized route. Buses, after one bus leaves, it takes 45 minutes for the other bus to come. So if you miss a bus 45 minutes, what we do? Generally, we stay in the bus stop. You know what he does? He goes to the nearest hospital and he will speak to the patients. So he has become a very famous man there. Whenever he goes to hospital, there will be somebody who wants tea. He will go, carry tea and then serve it. He won't waste time. Not even a single time he will waste. Whenever he has got some spare time, he knows what is to be done. So creative, and he has no time to think. You know, he's a very poor man actually. And he knows how to serve somebody else. If you have the habit of serving people, you will be always like that. And if you have no habit of serving people, at the deathbed also you will start disturbing people. There is an old man, uncle. He's got 3 nephews. The nephews started praying, let this old man die so that they will get the portion of their property. Earlier the uncle used to share the property to the nephews, right? So every day the uncle disturbs these nephews every day. So much disturbance, and every day these nephews are praying, let this old man die. The uncle also knows that he is disturbing the nephews. He's a very cruel man. At the deathbed, almost dying, that time he calls all the 3 nephews and says, I know throughout my life I have disturbed him. Almost before death. He is going to die. Half an hour he is going to die. That time only the realization comes. The nephews thought this man has become very good. Okay, we have disturbed him. Sorry. No, I know, don't say sorry. I know how cruel I was. Actually, if I would have been in your position, I could have killed you. So what is to be done? The uncle says, I was disturbing you throughout your life. So take a knife, all the 3 of you stab it. The innocent, poor, mindless, thoughtless fellows, all the 3 nephews took a knife and then killed him. Anyway, he is going to die. If they wanted to kill, they could have killed 20 years back. At the time of death, almost he is dying. If they kill, what will happen? All the 3 got imprisonment. The uncle also knows, and that is why he has suggested to do this. Because throughout your life, if you don't help somebody, at the time of death also, before going, they want this man to be sent to jail. So if somebody does not do good things, at the deathbed also you will disturb somebody and die. And if you have the habit of serving somebody throughout your life, at the deathbed also you will start serving somebody. It depends on your mind. That's why a positive person becomes positive. How do you practice? That's more important. Try to serve somebody, give something to somebody, sacrifice. That's more important. Serve people around you. Serve your family. Automatically you will know how to serve the society. If you don't serve family, society cannot be served. So every activity you start from yourself, get into the society, get into larger and larger society. That's more important. So I have just tried to define, give you a different outlook, telling that what do you think and what do you act. If you compare, what do you act is more important. Thinking process cannot be changed. But you can input lot of new thought process so that automatically you will have a habit of thinking good. So what do you practice for 30-40 days? Assume that you don't switch on the TV, you don't listen to the news. automatically after 40 days you will forget about every problem. Because every newspaper gives you problems only. Every TV channel gives you problems only. Therefore what happens? You have only inputs as bad problems. And that only you will have. Assume you start fighting at home with your mother, father, kids, husband, wife. Automatically the fourth day also you will fight. Assume you don't fight for 3 months. After that you don't fight. So it's the habit. And people need a trigger. In NLP treatment we say rubber band treatment. For thought process to change, there is a method. Assume that you have a high negative thought process, put a tight rubber band. Okay? And just take it and relieve it. You know what will happen? It's like, you cannot beat yourself. So instead of that, do this. There is another treatment called switch treatment. You are sitting somewhere and thinking only one. And you know that you are going wrong. Just get out of that place. Go to some other room. Switch on the light. Switch on the TV. Clean the windows. Clean the tube light. Clean the house. If no other job, if there is a drum of water, pour it on your floor and then start cleaning the floor. You understood? You need a change. That's more essential. Every day if you are sitting in one chair, shift from that chair. You get addicted to that chair. Some people get addicted to some chair. And sitting there, you will see directly TV. What do? Reverse the chair and then see something else. That's more important. So don't get addicted to thought process. If you sit on the same chair, same thought process will go. Assume that husband and wife is fighting every day. Change your bedroom for another day. Because that room have got a negative thought process. If you start fighting exactly at that place, next day when you go, you will start fighting. So it's essential to change your bedroom. That's more important. If once you cook, the food is not coming good, change your cooking place. You will become good sometime. Or change your cook. Ask somebody else to cook on that day. So you become good. So it's essential to change from your situations. If you have a problem, if you feel that you are going highly bad, highly negative, it's essential you will realize. Automatically you will realize something wrong with me. You don't understand what is wrong. What is required is change your style. Just change your style. It is good. Assume that your thinking process is not very good. I am going highly negative. Change your friends. That's essential. Change your situation. Sometimes your thought process is more controlled by your people who are around you. The Shakuni was around Duryodhana. That is the only bad thing he had. If Shakuni was not around, Duryodhana would have been somebody else. So it's essential to change your situation, to have a good thought process. Your practice will change. Because you go to US and stay sometime, your way of life will change. Your style will change. Your thinking process will change. Your attitude will change. So much of accidents happens in some places. People are not bothered. Because in India we have been trained to think on these items only. Kerala, everybody thinks about politics only. Because people have been trained to think in political terms. If the mother beats the son, 2 political parties will come. Somebody will say mother is Congress, son is communist, and they start fighting. That much politics is there. Because that is the practice which they have. So it depends on what practice you have. So see good things, read good books, automatically your life will change. Okay, that's essential. You can have some questions if you have. No. That's a very bad, that's a Western style. What is that? Where we can quote many sayings. Sayings are made by many cultures, many places. Understood? Saying stories are to input some moral in us. All sayings, all stories have got some inputs to us. So listen to that input and contextual. It is contextual. Ask me some questions. Yeah. In? It depends on what is your strength. If you are rich, give money. See, recently, I don't know, you know Sangareddy district? 100 kilometers from here. In that, from there, 15-20 kilometers far I should go. Jogipet. It's first time I am going, Jogipet. There was a community hall, Jogipet. 20-30 people were there. You know what is that they are doing? AIDS Control Society with some voluntary organization. These people are volunteers. Their job is to identify AIDS patients in their area. You know who are they? Normal people working for 100 rupees on as a coolie in different places. Some are students, +1, +2. The maximum qualified person was a BCom second year student. Some were housewives. They came to my class with the small kids breastfeeding. In the middle of the class they were breastfeeding. In the class. The 2-3 big kids, small kids. And they made them to sleep in the floor itself. They are attending my class. And the whole day I spoke to them. I never knew that I have to speak to them in Telugu. But after reaching there, nothing is possible. They know only Telugu. Nothing else. Not even a single English word they will understand. And the whole day I spent, you know what they are doing? Social service. They are serving the society, identifying the AIDS patients and then taking them for treatment. The whole day went with a lot of exercises. They made posters, they had group discussions, leadership qualities, and why do you do social service? That was the content, and how do you do it? And that has been spread among few new people were there, few old, earlier trained people were there. So that has to be spread. That's the job I have done. What I can do, I am not able to give a single penny to anybody. But what I can do is a day of mine. And I drove from Hyderabad and then came back. Not expecting a single penny. That's the service which I can do. So every individual have their own way of doing service. You decide what is that you can do. It's up to you. If you can feed somebody, feed it. If you can give clothes to somebody, give clothes. Not necessarily to everybody. If you can do it somewhere near to your society, a few people, that's enough. Can you help your own mother, father at home? That's enough. At cooking, can you help your wife? That's a big service. We don't understand. Social service doesn't mean serving somebody else. A person who don't serve the house will not serve anybody else. If you have the habit, you will start from your house. So start cleaning your house. Let your wife make it dirty and you enjoy cleaning it. She will enjoy making it dirty. You will enjoy cleaning it. Both are happy. Right? No? So there has to be a shared life. That's more important. That's more essential. So society serving doesn't mean somebody else who is not your relative. To your relatives, there will be poor people who cannot have sufficient money. Every rich man will have a poor relative also. Helping them itself is a big thing. You don't have to do somebody else. You don't have to give donations. But if you can give some money to help somebody to learn something, that's a great thing. When you serve, give it to the temple, automatically it goes to government. Isn't it? So don't give it to temples, or automatically goes to. But give some rice to the temple and ask them to feed, if you want to do that. And go to some anath ashram and then give some food. Do that. There is a street children, a home for street children on SP Road, just near to the overbridge. Once, my wife and my kids, everybody went there, and one night dinner we served to them. There are 30-40 children. You can do anything. What you can do is, no, you cannot answer this. You will have a lot of waste clothes at your house. Take it and then give it to some old age homes. No? If you have a lot of magazines, take it and give it. Collect magazines from different places and give it to old age home. They will like to read that. So many things can be done if you want to do. There are many ways to read. Do things, social service. I teach social service in NSS camps and motivate the youngsters to do social service. You can do many things. What I can do is, I am doing. I can only teach. That's what I have, the strength to motivate the people. That's what I'm doing. So you find out what is your strength and then try to start doing it. That's possible. Some more questions. You should have more questions. That's how it should come. I found that you are having less questions, that's why I gave it. Otherwise, these positive thinking and such, it's not like personality development. It's very, very specific course. So you should have good questions, generalized questions. Attitude, yeah. The whole thing is depend on attitude. The attitude comes from how did you train? Your family, how they trained you. No, that's all normal thing, you know. In life, how does it matter? That's the question. That is why your habit, most of it, that's why I said you have a habit. Okay, but 30-40 days of training you can change your habits. But what happens most of the time, after the training you come back to the same house. Is it not? But change your family, no? Change your next generation at least. What for you are living, you should know. You become so selfish in your life that you want your kid to become this. Nothing else. You tell your son, daughter, don't care anybody else. You know what will happen? They will become so selfish, they will not care you after some time. You start teaching your kid, serve anybody in the world, and they will start serving you also. You were there when I gave the example of the entrance examination, one government servant's daughter, son. Okay. In Tarnaka I had a case, Hapsiguda. One lady who is a government servant. Her husband is no more. Expired long back. Only one son. And she is living for this son. No social contacts. After the office, just come home, ask the son to study. Brilliant student. And she is living for this son. The son is in +2. After that, entrance examination is happening. During that time only, the cancer was detected for the mother. The doctor and the relatives compelled her to get admitted. The son says, don't go for treatment now. Let my entrance exam is over, then only you get admitted. There was a big fight between the mother and the son. But since every relatives and doctor compelled her to get admitted, she got admitted. The entrance exam, he got 46th rank. It's a good rank. At any college you will get admission, MBBS admission. But the son was again fighting with the mother, telling that if you were at home, I could have got somewhere between 10th rank. Do you think this son worth becoming a doctor? Why he became like this? I don't find fault with the son. The mother trained the son to be like this. If the son is that mother's son, that means the mother did not treat the son perfectly, did not taught the lessons in life perfectly. That's a mistake. If you make your son selfish, making not to talk to anybody in the world, the son will not talk to you also after some time. That's what will happen. I've got another case, again in Tarnaka, because I stay in Malkajgiri. I've got few cases in Tarnaka. I'm not a very famous psychotherapist, but I have few friends who will come to me for some purposes. One railway employee, very chief, is a very high position in railway in Hyderabad. He comes to me and says that my son is not studying perfectly. Only 50%, 60% mark. That's not enough, no? Today, in competitive exam, he has to be successful. 50-60% is not enough. So, sir, you should advise him to become a good student. Naturally, I thought it's a normal case. You ask him to come. He came, and I asked the parents to go. I wanted to talk to him. He is the best cyclist in Andhra Pradesh. In national level, he is in second position. He did not attend all the classes. 10 classes only he attended in first year. Still he got 53% mark. Is it not a good mark? The parents don't recognize him, and the parents are not spending a single penny for his studies. Free accommodation, free food, totally taken care of by the government of Andhra Pradesh for last 3-4 years. Because he is the champion for Andhra. And the Andhra Pradesh government is expecting him to be the best cyclist next year. And he just finished a cycling from Chennai to Pondicherry, 360 kilometers in 5 hours. and the parents want me to counsel the son to become a good student. Instead of that, I counseled the parents and then asked him, you must be lucky to have such a son for you, right? No? He's a brilliant man. And he says, let me do this, whatever way I am doing, I will get a 60-50% mark. In plus 1, plus 2, I will get 50-60% only. The entrance I will get 30,000 rank only, no problem. But I will get admission in any engineering college. Because this experience is enough, any engineering college will snatch him, no? Because it's a prestige issue for engineering college. So people don't understand how to support their kids. Assume you make him an engineer, there are 10,000 engineers in a college. He will become one among them. Now he is one among the best in the cycling. So he has to be supported. So it's the way you think about your life. The way you look at your family. The way what is that merit for them. Try to support. That's more essential. So don't say that, becoming an engineer, making them a doctor, making them an engineer, making them a scientist, they're all useless. What is required? Make your family members a good citizen. Very happy. If you are not happy at home, your kids will never be happy in their houses when they get married, when they become elders. If they are seeing the parents are fighting, then automatically your kid also get married and then start fighting, because that's what they will learn from your life. So most of the time what is essential in life is to give a very happy life, very smiling, very enjoying. That's essential. You should make a good circumstance where you will surrender sometime for the benefit of somebody else. Don't see that you are great. I am okay. In front of my wife, I am not at all a lecturer. In front of my wife, I am a husband. If I cannot become a good husband, then I am useless. I should not have been married. If I cannot become a good father, I should not have been produced. So no, I should not produce kids. Once I have married, I should decide that I will do every justice to my position as a husband. When I become a father, it's my responsibility to do every justice to that. When I become a soldier, it is my responsibility to kill. When I come back to my native, it is my responsibility to become an obedient, a rule-abiding citizen. That's more important. So take the role at every position, what you are supposed to do, and that is what is positive. Okay? Thank you. If you have got some more questions, you can email me.